Yep. Still love Hootie. Readers, as you can imagine, I don't have cable. So I wasn't able to watch the first half of the Owl House Season 2 like everyone else was able to as it aired. But what I do have is a year's worth of Disney Plus. And I found out that the first 5 episodes of Season 2 were made available to stream on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. A happy early birthday to me! Now, if you've seen my video on Amity Blight's character development in Season 1, then you already know that I love this show and how it handles the development for its main cast of characters. So once I had a chance to watch at least the first few episodes of the second season, legally, I was all on board. And y'all, I am flabbergasted at how much stuff the first 5 episodes of this season covers. The romance between Amity and Luz gaining stride while also exploring the dynamic with her parents. The introduction of the Golden Guard. King discovering more about his past. Gus growing in both his self-confidence and abilities as an illusionist. There's only 5 episodes of Season 2 so far on Disney Plus, and it's already so full of potential for character development across multiple main players. I honestly want to do videos on everyone's individual arcs as the rest of the season plays out. But out of the first 5 episodes of the season, the one that immediately made me want to just run to my computer and just type out a freaking script was the mother-daughter episode, Keeping Up A-Fear-Ances, where we're introduced to Eda and Lilith's mother, Gwendolyn. So, it goes without saying that I highly recommend that you watch Season 1 of The Owl House, but just know that it's damn near impossible for me to talk about this specific episode without spoiling a major plot thread of the show for you overall. So before you continue on with this video, just keep that in mind. Cool? Cool. So, as you know, Eda Hawthorne has bestowed upon her a curse that causes her to transform into a monstrous owl beast. Because they can't say owlbear, that's copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast. It was placed on her by her sister Lilith out of jealousy when they were kids, and as part of trying to make amends for capturing her for the Emperor to make an example of Eda for defying his law at the end of the season, decided to share the burden of the curse. All this was made known in Season 1. However, what we didn't know was that Eda and Lilith's mother Gwendolyn has been trying to find a cure for the curse for just as long, by any means necessary.
My daughter is suffering. I want that thing out. Cut it out if you have to.
Now, this is obviously set up for when we're introduced to modern-day Gwendolyn. By the time Luz meets her, we know that she's the type to be overbearing, but only to Eda, and it's obvious that this has existed in their dynamic even before she was cursed. Her relationship with Lilith, however, is...
Oh, hello to you too, sweet flea. Oh, still dyeing your hair, I see. Well, it's very sleek. Now, give me a moment with Edelyn, dear. It's important.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that Gwendolyn has a favorite. So, by the time that we find out that Gwendolyn has been looking for a cure, Luz has been homesick and missing her mom so much that she sees Eda blowing off her own as nothing more than rude, which is understandable. So of course she helps Gwendolyn out with getting Eda's curse broken according to the means of a soothsayer she met. Then, after seeing attempt after attempt fail, with the only thing the cure was accomplishing was frustrating Eda to the point where the curse was starting to take over, I started to see what was actually going on. And, more importantly, I started to see Gwendolyn's mindset regarding the curse, Eda's potions, and her overall relationship with her versus Lilith, that I began to see the point of her arc in this episode. I originally had caution play a role in my depiction of her when I saw how Gwendolyn was addressing the Healing Coven. Specifically when it was revealed that she joined it in order to find a cure for Eda's curse, but ended up searching for other means when she wasn't satisfied that they couldn't do anything about it. Then, that caution started to heighten the moment I saw Gwendolyn keep Luz from giving Eda a potion from the first time that they were testing out one of the cures in the book that she bought.
Don't worry. After today, Eda will never have to drink those nasty little things again.
So you can only imagine my reaction when the time came for Luz to figure out that Gwendolyn was being scammed.
Gwen, you're being scammed! Wartlop is a fake!
And what helps raise that danger with her decision in this episode is that it not only shows real-life parallels of how individuals fall for anything out of the likes of fear and desperation, but also that it's not just an isolated incident either. Their decisions, more specifically acting on those decisions, affect the people around and close to them as well, which is something that's also perfectly depicted in this episode. You see, the root of Gwendolyn's manipulation goes all the way back to what we learned about her personality when Eda was first given the curse. She's headstrong to the point where it turns people off and drives those she cares about away at times. That's what initially happened when Eda first heard how determined she was to get rid of her curse that caused her to run away and find the door to the human world. And while we see the extent of her determination when it's revealed that she joined the Healing Coven specifically to help find a cure for Eda's curse, we also see how quickly that's taken away when Gwendolyn turns her back on them for saying that the curse can only be managed, not cured.
Perhaps if we consult the Potions Coven, they may know a way to keep it at bay.
Keep it at bay?
So, to see that Gwendolyn is capable of throwing away the word of healing witches, specifically witches in their field and profession, because she's unsatisfied with the results and shows enough desperation to attract the attention of a scammer, or, in this case, a group of scammers, that's willing to take advantage of her desperation and manipulate it for their gain, just set off the too real alarm in my brain. Because I, a 33-year-old African-American male living in America, have seen this transition of headstrongness to desperation in members of the generations that came before me. And have seen them just as easily manipulated by outside forces feeding off of their dissatisfaction of facts and logic. Even more so once this goddamn Paula Abdul struck in 2020, and I'm absolutely sure most of y'all did too. But that's not the only message the episode subtly delivers to its young audience. It also shows how that manipulation can spread in various ways. And the way it chooses to do it is through parental neglect. She's so willing to believe the soothsayer scammer that she's completely removed the owl house of every potion inside, already cursing the potion's existence because of her association with the coven that told her Eda's curse can only be treated, not cured. Gwendolyn's dismissal of facts, logic, and expertise, I can't really say science because this is a world of magic, due to her dissatisfaction with said experts, combined with the blind faith in the scammer, gladly allows her to believe that the potions are no longer necessary, satisfying her desire to flip off the Healing Coven for telling her a truth she didn't want to accept. However, this affects her children in the process, because by the time she sees that the faux cures for Eda's curse aren't real after destroying all the potions in her possession, Eda has already once again been overcome by it. Also, due to using the excuse of seeing Lilith as self-sufficient in order to not learn about her life both during and after her involvement in the Emperor's Coven, she has no idea that in order to free Eda from the permanent damage of the curse, she decided to share the burden with her. Let alone know that she was the one who cursed Eda in the first place until the end of the episode. So by getting rid of all the potions in the Owl House, she also sets up Lilith for failure as well, and both of her daughters' lives are in jeopardy as a result. Now, while I'm glad that Gwendolyn learned the error of her ways, genuinely sought the forgiveness of her daughters, and decided to try and do right by Lilith by the end of the episode, seeing everything Gwendolyn did over the course of it definitely left me feeling a certain kind of way by the time the House of Cards came tumbling down. Because when I saw that play out on screen, I know I'm not the only one when I say that I couldn't help but see all the parents being tricked and manipulated by the toxicity of Fox News. That I saw all the parents that are falling for alternative medicine and money church pyramid schemes. And that last one I mentioned just hits home for me, because my mom is currently wrapped up in one of those exact situations, despite my sisters and I telling her that it's not at all what she thinks it is. Whoo boy. And I wouldn't feel the need to make this video if that was the only comparison this episode was making to what's going on in real life either. Because as I've stated before, it's clear that through the combination of Gwendolyn's naivete via seeking out a cure for Eda, it also affected Lilith. Because through her lack of communication and connection with her, Gwendolyn brought about her sabotage thanks to not knowing that she too now carries the curse because of the actions she made at the end of season 1 by removing the potions used to keep the curse at bay from her possession. This episode is brilliant because it exposes children to the reality that even adults are fallible, that if they are scared enough, worried enough, or concerned enough, malevolent outside forces can easily take advantage of said fear, worry, and concern and either exploit them or drive them to do dangerous things. Sometimes both. And it also shows how said exploits can be made even more dangerous by using how Gwendolyn's actions in trying to cure Eda but neglecting Lilith can compound via parental neglect. But also, just as importantly, it shows that they can learn from their mistakes, respect boundaries, and are capable of growth. And while some young adults and adults who watch this show probably have had to make a hard decision, or not so hard decision depending on the situation, regarding if a relationship with a parent is worth saving or not, Keeping Up A-Fear-Ances shows that it can happen if said parties are open to the possibility. And part of how it can be is if the parent or parents are willing to see what they've done to damage or sever the connection, put aside any harmful rhetoric they've allowed to cloud their judgment, listen to the affected parties, and are willing to make the steps necessary to become better because of it. But I digress, readers. Your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below what you thought of the Keeping Up A-Fear-Ances episode of The Owl House Season 2, if you've seen it. Or if you feel like sharing with the rest of the class, a moment in either film or television you've seen that set off your too real alarm in your head. Whichever question you decide to answer, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you want to help financially support the channel, you can join my Patreon by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description down below, where you can also find a link to my merchandise store. Or if you prefer to give a one-time donation, you can find links to my PayPal and my Ko-fi account in the description box as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.